No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
G'day, I'm Dr. Friday, and I'm sitting in for Hank Parrott. This is the Retirement Report, so hopefully you guys will join us today. As you all know, I love to talk about taxes. It's one of my favorite things. So today will be your time to actually pick up the phone if you've got questions concerning taxes, IRS letters, money issues. Maybe you're thinking, do I need to file? Should I file? I've been told I should. I've been told I shouldn't. Maybe you're on disability or Social Security and you're not too sure how much money you can earn before that kicks in. This is the show. This is the time for you to pick up. You can give us the phone numbers on the screen, but 737-7587, 737-7587, taking your calls, talking about taxes and money issues. So as you know, I'm an enrolled agent licensed with the Internal Revenue Service, which means my passion is taxes. All I really do all the time is taxes. I talk it, I do it, and I enjoy dealing with it. But as an enrolled agent, what it means is I'm the shield between you and the IRS. So if you're dealing with an IRS issue, or maybe you've gotten one of the love letters in the mail lately and you're really not too sure what's going on about it, the IRS has actually passed out and passed into law a new adoption called the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights. Now, most people might have thought there was already a Bill of Rights out there, and there is. But the problem is, according to a survey done by the Tax Advocate Office, they basically said that more than 87% of American taxpayers did not realize that they had a right as far as they could question the IRS, they could debate things, they could, make changes, anything. They thought that if the IRS came to them, said they owed money, basically that's what they had to do, was pay that money. If the IRS puts a lien on your paycheck, if the IRS says that you've got a levy against your house, whatever it might be, that you had no rights. So what they've done is they've come up with basically Publication 1, appropriate, your taxpayer rights, and they've taken and updated 10, they've taken the 10 most important ones, and they've basically highlighted those, basically stipulating, when it comes down to it, what your rights are. The right to be informed, the right to qualify for services, the right to pay no more than the correct amount of taxes, the right to challenge, yes, that's the word they have, challenge the IRS position and to be heard, the right to appeal an IRS decision, the right to finality, the right to privacy, the right to confidentiality, and to retain representation. That would be someone like myself, an EA or an attorney, or the right to fair and just tax system. These are our rights. And it's important for you to know what those rights are, because if you don't know what your rights are, how can you fight it? So every time you get something from the Internal Revenue Service, or if someone's preparing your taxes and you're not comfortable with something they've said or done, you need to get a second opinion. That's all it comes down to. Now, there is a service within the Internal Revenue Service called the Tax Advocate Office. They can help. Or you can call someone like my firm, Dr. Friday Tax and Financial Firm. Either way, you need to get a second opinion. But I thought it was really interesting that most taxpayers really did not realize they had these rights already. So that's important for you to realize. If you want to join me live here in the studio for the next 45 minutes or so, we will take your calls, answer your calls on tax issues or other things. You can do is 737-7587, 737-7587. And we're going to go right to the phone lines because I totally love talking directly to you guys. It's more fun than me going through all my prep. So we're going to hit Scott on line 2. G'day, Scott.
Hello.
Hey there, sweetheart. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm a single parent and I'm disabled. And since I was divorced, I have a new girlfriend and I live with her in her home. And we were wondering, is there any way for my son to be claimed, for the earned income credit? Because I get disability.
Right.
So
you don't file. You don't file and you don't qualify for earned income credit because there's no earnings per se. And the answer is no. She could get the child credit because she theoretically, if she can prove she's supporting 50% of his care in the household, and if she's paying for the rent or mortgage of that home, she may be doing that. So she may be able to claim him as a dependent, but the earned income credit can only be a descendant of that individual, being nephew, niece, child, whatever. So since the child is not related to the girlfriend, no, not unless you marry.
Right.
And then, of course, your disability could become taxable.
So, I mean, he kind of just falls through the cracks then? Because, I mean, he doesn't have a mom, and she doesn't pay child support, or, you know, he's never met her. I don't know how he would get his earned income credit, you know.
Does he not get Social Security benefits?
No, I'm on SSI.
Okay, but since you're disabled, doesn't he qualify for Social Security benefits?
I don't believe he does.
You might want to look into that. I'm not going to tell you I'm an absolute specialist, but I do know I do quite a few tax returns for people that are married to someone, and a lot of times their children do qualify because of what you're saying, because the parent is disabled. They get a portion of that disability. That's my understanding. You might want to just call them and find out.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Okay, no worries, mate. Thanks.
All right.
Bye. All right, this is the retirement report, and you're seeing a new face. Well, not really new. I'm just usually on the other side of the desk. As you know, this is where Hank Parrott usually sits, and you're probably used to talking to him about retirement questions and things like, should I put more money into an IRA or convert to a 401k? If you've got some basic questions like that, we will still be taking those phone calls. I can answer them basically more on the tax element than who and who should not be investing, but we can always get that information. Remember, Hank will be here next week. We can always have them answer those questions when he comes back in. So if you want to join us, the number is on the phone, or on the, sorry, used to a radio show, is on the screen, 737-7587, 737-7587, taking questions mainly on tax issues. Okay, so we've covered what the IRS has said. Here's something interesting. I think a lot of you have children that are out of school right now, and I'm always looking for ways to make sure that parents and anybody is actually taking every tax deduction that you're entitled to. And as we know, about 55 tax deductions expired at the end of 2013, and we're going to cover some of those that might affect you and I. But while we're waiting, one big one is credit on child dependent care this summer. What people don't realize is that day camps are considered child care. So when you send your child to a day camp, you can qualify if both parents are basically working, or if you're a single parent, that money then can, a portion of it can come back to you in a credit form. So basically what it comes down to is day camps are dependent care. If it's an overnight camp, it doesn't qualify. So the day camp is what you're looking at. And let's see, the expense for the credit is maximized up to $3,000 for one qualified person, $6,000 for two or more. It's a great credit, and you can basically maximize taking some of those credits out of, at least helps pay a little bit of the child care that you're having to do through the summertime. So make sure you save, and what you need to make sure you have is the name of the organization where you have it. Let's say it's the YMCA, and the day camp, and then the amount you paid, and their federal ID number. You will need to be able to deduct that, and their address. So that's all very important to be able to track, and don't lose your tax dollars. More money you put in your pocket, more money you can spend and do the things you want to do instead of paying taxes. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back to the retirement report, we'll get to some more of your phone calls and more of questions that we have, that I have from emails and other ways. So we'll be right back with the retirement report.